What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going.
I mumbled there, huh?
Yeah.
Mama.
What was it? Was it on your name?
There was some, yeah. Sonja Ramirez. So this weekend we dropped off Adriana at she had a sleepover.
Yeah.
I'm missing her so much. I called her earlier and I'm like, hey, can I pick you up tonight? Like maybe 8:30?
You asked her?
Yeah.
I thought she asked you.
No, well, she was like, if you want to, because I text her and I just sent her a message. And I told her, hey, how are you doing?
You sent her a message?
A text message.
How did you send her a text message?
Because she has a phone.
Oh, snap.
Which I'm very nervous about.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So, and she said, oh, we're watching TV in the theater room.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you watching? I guess they're going to watch Legally Blind. I'm like, nice. Send me a picture.
Oh,
She
how
sends
cute.
me a picture. And she put the flash made my eyes small. She's like, you can take me home tonight if you want. See? Because I told her I missed her. So she did ask me. Yeah, but
did you ask her?
No.
You didn't ask her first?
No, I just said, I miss you. I miss my buddy. She's like, I miss you too.
Oh.
But then she said, can I stay another day? This was earlier.
Yeah.
And
so she has a friend from school. They just got done with school.
yes.
This past week.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a friend from school, and it's her birthday, right?
Yes.
So it's her birthday and it's the end of school, and her parents rented out this Airbnb, which is like completely Barbie themed, or like, yeah, it's Barbie, right? It's all pink on the inside. Yeah. And they have it for the weekend. So they got somebody coming in to cook.
Yep, they hired a professional chef. There's a theater room. There's a pool. There's all kinds of good stuff. So anyways, we went to drop her off, and I took a look, and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I'm like, do you mind, what are you guys spending? She's like $3,000 a weekend. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like, how can you go? I mean, I know sometimes things go wrong, but it's like, yeah, because that is something that we're thinking of doing. So,
but $3,000 a weekend, I mean, that'll pay the mortgage for 2 months, maybe.
Depends on the house.
So that means you got to rent
on the
it
house
once. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to rent it out very often.
No. Yeah. So,
dang, that's pretty crazy, and it's only for the weekend.
Right. Yep. And it's all it's just girl themed. And she said that they have others.
But I wouldn't want to live in that house.
Because she's having like a bachelorette, or she's throwing a bachelorette for someone.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
And she said that there was another house that they're going to rent out for her friend for their bachelorette party. And it's all decked out as well for that theme.
Yeah.
So there's just so many things to do these days. There's so many ways to make money. So if you're watching this and things have been tight, start doing some research. Start looking, because there's a lot out there. There's so much out there that you can do. Like there's no reason why you should be struggling in these times. And I know COVID, so many people lives were challenged during COVID. There were a lot of negative, just bad things, but there's a lot of good things that came out of it as well.
Yeah.
Even, the parents that were working nonstop all day, every day, who ended up having to work from home, got to see their children a little more.
Yeah.
So even though we all went through some challenging times and things are going back to norm, we got to look at the good things, because there are good things that came out of this.
Yeah.
I was talking to some of my signers and just listening to them, and, Yeah. What were you going to say?
There was like you were saying, there's so many different ways to make money. Like we're talking about this Airbnb, which is obviously a lot of money to be spending, right? And if you don't have that kind of money, you can't make money like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something that we saw. I can't remember who it was, but they were buying like Walmart clearance stuff.
Oh, yes.
And then they were
reselling.
Yeah, they were reselling.
Mm-hmm.
But they were buying it and then selling it like on eBay. And they had the app so they could scan it and see how much it's sold for.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like one of those things, like we were saying, you don't need a lot of money for it.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to do is like look into it, find out. And if you have maybe a couple $100, maybe you could turn that into $1,000. I mean, it might take a couple times, but it's one way of many, right?
Yep. Lots.
So, yeah, so we've been watching this this show, the Tales by the Light, that Netflix show, and it's been pretty cool. So the show is about different people that are photographers, and it follows them around, and it's like them capturing their best shots, right?
Yes. Like they like to visit places that have rarely or never have been visited before.
Yeah. It's insane. Like some of the places that they go to, the people that they meet.
Like, yes, like the tribes. So there's different tribes that they go. I wish I would have wrote maybe, because I know they named some of the tribes or where they were located and stuff like that. We need to get that. But it's almost hard to believe that people still live like this today in the world of technology. Like where we,
Yeah.
I mean,
like where we're sitting here with lights and shooting a podcast.
Right.
There's people that live in a tribe.
Right. They live in teepees or...
Oh my God, babe.
What do they live in, babe? What do they live in?
I don't know if a YouTube show can get canceled. I'm just kidding.
But do you know what I'm saying? No. What do they live in?
Yeah, they have like huts,
huts
that they've built.
It's not like it's... made out of 2x4s.
No, it's
and plywood.
No, it's definitely not.
No,
or made out of mud. Yeah.
Is there electricity? No. Like, there's no electricity. There's no
it's crazy.
refrigerators. I'm like, how in the world? They're like,
and then they're visited by these people that are there to kind of like the guy was saying. He's like, this is to document our times, and they're part of our times. It's crazy.
Yes, and then stupid Miguel.
Well, yeah. So we're sitting there watching this show, and I was thinking of myself, like if I would have been one of those tribes people, and the guy with the camera comes up, and I'm just like, hold up, like where did this dude come from? Because I'm sitting here like I'm covered in like leaves, and I'm all I got paint on, and this guy's got a camera, and then he was like showing them their pictures on the iPad. And like editing them on the spot and showing like, look, this is you. This is what we're going to show people, back where we're from. I'd be like, wait, people where? Where are you guys going? Like, we've been living like this for years. I'm not, I'll show you what we do, but I'm going back with you guys. I'm not staying here,
I don't know. It's very unbelievable.
It is crazy.
It is crazy.
And you would hate for that to go away, right?
Yes. And to think... When you think about it, though, it's like, would you really want to go with the cameraman?
Back to what?
But what I'm saying
even
is
in the time that we live in now, like the pandemic, like, do they even? Because if nobody's been there, except for this dude with the camera, that could be a problem for them.
Do they still practice natural medicines? I mean,
who knows?
I don't see them taking penicillin.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they didn't get into all that, but it was pretty cool to see. Right? But you guys got to check it out. Tales by Light on Netflix.
Yes. And they talk about the oceans, and they go to these islands.
Yeah.
Where it's
where was it?
Messed with. Like, it's just untouched.
Yeah, nobody goes there.
And they have the most beautiful corals and different species of fish.
Yeah.
And sharks. And it's just...
they had all kinds of sharks there.
Yes. And then they talk about the importance of keeping our oceans safe.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And they were also showing like how sharks are portrayed, like in the movies, and like people are scared of sharks.
Right.
I mean, obviously they look scary, but it was just crazy to see this dude. Not that, well, they said it in the documentary. Like, this is a special dude. Like, he does this. He's dedicated his life to this. So don't be trying to pet sharks.
Yeah, because he's petting like all over these sharks, and the way the sharks respond, he
was petting them like a dog.
So unreal. But the way they were responding to him,
it was insane.
Was unreal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't feel threatened. You know, it's like they were one with the fish. They were one with the sharks.
Yeah. No, and there was even one that had like this plastic strap that had gotten around the shark. And it couldn't get it off. And it had just kept growing. And little by little, like, that strap started like constricting the shark. Right? And then one of the guys was able to get close enough to where he grabbed it and cut it off.
Right.
And then they're like doing their interview afterwards on the boat. And that shark is just kind of like swimming all around them. You know, like it wasn't leaving.
It was like saying, it was thank you. Like,
yeah, that's what they were saying in the show.
His appreciation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's unreal. I don't know. I still trip out. You know, you fell asleep and I continued watching it. And I was just like blown away.
Yeah. It was cool.
Like this, it's just, there's so much to see. There's so much to see.
Yeah.
You know, in this world, there's just so much.
We got to watch that with the kids. Like we say with...
we didn't watch it. Well, Joey liked it. Joey liked it, and he wants to see more of it.
Yeah, it said, what did it say? Nudity and smoking. And Audrey was freaking out. She's like, Mom.
Because Joey was sitting with us.
Yeah.
She's so cute. She's protective of him, of her little brother.
Yeah.
You know? And I love the fact that they are getting back to being close again. Because when Audrey started going through puberty, she started to pull back, pull away. Tough. And now I see them playing and laughing and hugging, and she'll lay next to him and he can hug her and she's okay with it, you know?
Yeah, just the other night after dinner, we're just hanging out outside and they're like, can we get in the pool? And we're like, yeah, go for it. They jump in and they were like just wrestling and just playing. And we were just talking. It's like, it's been so long since we've seen them playing like that, you know?
Because they were always so close. Like, those two were inseparable. Audrey's 2 years older than Joey, and they were just inseparable. Like, they both have their own rooms, but they would always end up in the same room. They would always sneak into each other's room.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Yeah, we're like, we don't even need another bedroom for these kids.
Right.
Like, they sleep together on a twin bed.
Yep.
And they did it for years.
Yes. And then once, she started going through her change, like, she just wasn't the same. And then, things started. And anyways, it's exciting to see them together, hugging, loving, laughing, and just being brothers and sisters,
Yeah, because now we were watching a movie and she'll come and lay down next to him and she's not like pushing him away. No. And it's like, stop touching me, and
yeah.
I mean, they still do that, but now at least she'll lay down and hang out all of us together. And she's
my little girl again.
Yeah.
I was looking through her pictures today, her baby pictures, just all of them. Cause Facebook, I documented like our entire lives.
Yeah.
And so it's very cool to go back, back into the pictures and just see the change,
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I was doing that today.
So we were talking about Audrey, and you were texting her on her new cell phone. Mm-hmm. So we decided to get her the pinwheel phone, and you say you're kind of scared.
I just get, because I see the kids today.
Yeah. And
I see them stuck in their phones nonstop. And I know she doesn't have any social media, but she has access to, text messaging and, talking calling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with Joey, we got him his little game.
Oh,
what
crap.
Is it?
The Nintendo.
The Nintendo Switch. And, he's been on it.
Yeah.
And I just don't want us to lose sight. I want us to stay consistent with what we say and with what we do.
Yeah.
And
so with the Nintendo Switch, we saw that there's been an issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Joey playing a lot. And with the Nintendo Switch is cool because you can download the parent app and you can see how much they're playing and what they're playing.
Long,
yeah. And I hadn't been checking it. And when we went through it, Joey, he'll get off when he's around us. But it's also weird to see when you're watching, when you look at it on the screen, and you're like, how did he fit in that many hours of playing? And we just kind of decided, you know what, that's it. And I put a password on it. So after a certain amount of time, right now he has an hour, but we'll talk because it's summertime or whatever, but we'll see. But he has a limit. And once it hits that limit, it'll shut off.
I can't remember where I heard this. It may have been in church, but it's about being consistent, with the kids. And as parents, we are busy as well, right?
Yeah.
We are busy, and it's hard to be consistent, especially when you have one parent that's an entrepreneur. And you are as well. I mean, with the podcast, like we're so caught up that at times
we're always busy. Yeah.
It's hard to stay consistent. And I think that it's just very important for us to do our best with being consistent with them.
Yeah.
Because Joey was taking advantage of that.
He was.
He noticed that we weren't,
on him. Yeah, and he's sneaky too, though.
Yes,
because he would say stuff so that he would make you think that he wasn't playing that much.
Right.
And it's like, no, dude, I know you're playing. And I know you're saying that to make me think that you're not playing, but I know you are. And then that's when we checked, and it's like, yeah, that's enough.
Yes.
So,
and there are groups out there for those of you that, maybe feel that you have lost control of your child and their technology. There's a lot of support out there for you. We are a part of a couple of groups, tech groups, parent tech groups. But there's a lot of parental control on their devices as well.
So there's the group that we're in is parenting in a tech world. But so with the you want to talk about the cell phone and like the cell phone that we got, Audrey. So there's for parents that are looking for options for their kids. There's one called a Gab phone, and that one's way more popular. Like a lot more people have heard of it.
Very basic.
Yeah. I don't even know if the parents can see what's happening on the phone.
I don't know.
I'm not too sure. But it's very basic. All it has is calling, text, maybe like a calculator or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I think you can do like group text and pictures. But there's no social media. There's no internet.
It's very, very limited.
That's it. That's all you get. And I don't know if the parents can see anything, but maybe it's just that the phone is so basic. It's like, well,
you don't need
if the parents accept these people, then these are people that they trust and they don't need to see the text messages. Right?
Right.
So the difference between that phone and the one that we got, Audrey, the pinwheel phone, for one, this company is pretty new. Like it's a startup company still. It's only been around for a couple of years. And, but we saw that the phone looked pretty cool, like the options that it came with. So it doesn't have social media, any social media at all. It doesn't have an app store, so they can't download whatever they want. They have to, when they log into the phone, only the preloaded apps that we approved get loaded onto that phone. And there's only a certain amount of apps that this company allows on the phone, and these apps are approved by their therapist, and they have different people that like a board.
Great team.
Yeah, they have a board of people that approve these apps. And if there's something on the app that maybe, has adult content or whatever, it'll tell you. It'll give you a warning. Or like, let's say like maybe an ad pops up and through the ad you can get out and onto the internet or whatever. It'll tell you, So you can choose the apps that you want. And then when she logs in, then, those apps get loaded onto the phone. But so what do you think? What do you think of the phone itself?
I like the phone. No, I like the phone. I like that we have control of who we allow her to, like, people that we have not accepted on the phone cannot send her a text message or call.
Yeah, she doesn't get calls from anybody except for the people in her contact list.
Right. So I like the fact that we have control over it. There's no, I mean, I think it allows TikTok if you allow it, but that's not something that we allowed.
Doesn't.
Oh, that's not an app?
Nope.
Facebook, nothing like that? Okay.
Nope. It's not. They have to allow it, and they see that. They say that anything that sucks attention, they don't allow. Okay. It's not an app that they allow. So YouTube is not allowed. Facebook, like none of the social media is allowed.
I noticed like the kids down the street. I love the fact that like their parents, I love how they sit outside and they're always out, you know, like they're always out and their kids are either skating, biking, you know, they have their hoverboard. Like I like that. And I don't want to lose that with our kids. That's why I was asking Joey, hey, your skates don't fit you anymore. And he said, no. So I was thinking maybe we need to go buy him some more skates, you know, bike riding. He has a bike. It's just to keep them active. I do not want him sitting up in his room on his game, you know, and that's why I'm like, hey, you know, go outside.
Yeah.
Get out there. Go climb a tree. Go break a leg. No, go do something.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to lose that. Because that's something that they did for a long time, and I don't want to lose that.
Yeah. What was your favorite game when you were a kid, like playing with your friends?
Jacks.
What? Jacks?
I used to go outside and play jacks with my friends. Like,
really?
I liked roller skating too. We would go to Rolero. I love the music. I love the loudness. And I love, you know, just being around everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what you guys would play jacks together?
I loved playing jacks. Yeah, we would play jacks. And I was good at it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We used to play in front of we had some awesome games. Like we used to have so much fun. There was one we would play blindfolded, like in this hallway, and we would get like all the kids up on one floor, and at that time we were small enough where if you stretch,
Miguel's from New York.
Yeah, we're from New York. You know, you got the giant.
So his apartment buildings.
Yeah. So this is like a hallway, and you have all the doors to all the different apartments. And back then, when we were little, you could stretch your arms out, and you know, some of our friends, they could touch both walls, so they would stretch your arms out and you would be blindfolded and you would have to try and touch somebody, or if you felt them, you had to grab them and tackle them, and then you could kind of like feel them and try and figure out who they are. Yes. And if you guess, then they're it, you know. But we used to play that, and sometimes kids would get like the tennis balls and then they would throw it at the person that was it, which ended bad always. And
see, little boys though are very creative. Like that's what I love. I love spying on Joey and his little friend.
Yeah.
Like I love listening to them play because they have such good imaginations.
Yeah.
You know, and they're very animated.
They're always making stuff up.
Yes, and they're very animated. And I love that. I think I wonder if that's just a little boy thing. Because then with you would share with me like your stories and what you guys would play and how you would play, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like Audrey and her friends, that's not something that it
was different. Like I don't know where these games, like we used to play this game called Manhunt, and you had like a base, and then it was like teams of kids like chasing each other, but it was like between these two buildings, like 2 6 7 story buildings, and we would chase each other through the entire two buildings. Like there was an out of bounds where you couldn't cross, like you couldn't cross the street. You couldn't go behind the buildings, but as long as you were inside these buildings, you couldn't go into anybody's apartment. You had to be in the hallways on the floor. So like we would use the elevators and both of the fire escapes, the staircases. So we
that sounds like fun.
It was,
because a lot of your friends lived
and then
like one door over.
And then this is New York, so you have people like trying to get to their apartment and like walking down the street.
That would drive me bananas
while we're playing.
Yes,
you know.
Yeah, that would. I'm sure that drove everybody bananas.
No, it was fun.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't have any memories like that. Yeah. I had a conversation with my mom, and we were talking about, I don't know how it came up, but we were talking about, you know, our past, and just, I was asking her questions, and she was talking to me about how she was, you know, having, you know, she was talking about my stepdad. And I'm like, Mom, I'm like, are you serious? I can't remember exactly. I don't want to put her on blast, but she was telling me something and she was annoyed, right? Like she was annoyed. He did something and she was just like annoyed and pissed. And I'm like, Mom, did you really do that? I can't remember what it was. I'm like, you need to learn how to submit to your husband. She was like,
Oh, geez.
She started laughing. She's like, really, Sonia? Really? Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, I'm like, yes. She's like, do you submit to yours? And I'm like, why do you think we're still together? I'm like, the Bible says you must submit to your husband, you know, but she took it as if, and it does feel that way. It does feel that way. So, but it was funny because the way she came at me as if I'm not that type, you know, and I wasn't, you know, but I've learned to love regardless, which is at times very, very difficult when you feel like you're, you know, doing all the work. And she's like, what do you mean submit to him? And I'm like, Mom, he's working 2 jobs, right? She's like, why do you always stick up for him? She's like, you always stick up for him. And I'm like, Mom, when that man walks in the door, he needs to have food ready. She's like, I do. She's like, I do. I'm like, yes. I can't remember what it was she was talking about. But she thought it was funny as shit when I told her, Mom, you need to submit to your husband. You need to She's like, shit, I will. No. Yeah. Could you hear my mom? Yeah. Me telling her that?
No, that,
you know,
that's not going down.
We had such a good laugh funny. Because she would come up with something and then I'd go back and she's just laughing. And I know that it's like I was a bit getting, you know, irritating to her, but then I just, you know, just said some shit to make her laugh. But she was like, yeah, okay, submit to my husband. And I'm sure there's lots of women watching this talking about, girl, what are you smoking? I ain't submitting to nobody.
This is one point where I agree. No.
Yeah, okay.
Oh man,
but it was hilarious just listening to her and talking to her. And
yeah,
you know, it's like it took me 40 years to start listen, because I was like, why is it that my mom and I, like, I feel that we are the same but different.
How?
But very different. But I'm like, how? Like, my mom is an extrovert. Yeah. You know, like I remember her at my age. Like
she's bubbly.
Yeah, she's bubbly. She loves to sing. I remember she used to come home from work and be excited to go to the bar because she loved to go karaoke, and she would dance around the house.
Dude, your family loves karaoke.
With her hairbrush, singing and dancing in front of the mirror. And she was, you know, I remember just her doing that.
Yeah.
You know, but she's rigid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's rough, like she's rigid, like she's out there and outspoken and, you know, and it's like, I never took the time to really ask her about her past, like how she grew up, you know, and things that she's gone through.
Who was I was talking to somebody about that. Just about like families, like how a lot of times.
It was me.
Was it you?
We were talking about it. Yes.
Was somebody asking you questions?
Maybe, because that's probably what got me thinking about it.
Yeah. I think somebody was asking you some questions. And
I started.
And then you start thinking about it yourself, like even like your own parents.
Yes, it's like.
And then your grandparents. You know, like there's a lot of stuff you don't know.
Yeah, like a lot of times, with church too, because we talk about generational curses, like things that we have gone through, trauma that we have gone through as a child. And I never gave it any thought. I never thought about talking to my mom about her childhood or my dad about his childhood. Like so many times we grow up as adults and we tend to blame our parents for our shortcomings or, you know, just challenges and obstacles that we're going through in life or because of our childhood. But it's like, you can't understand them until you know what they've gone through. Yeah. You know, and I started talking to my mom and I started learning things about my mom. And her and I have gotten closer. And my dad and I, we started talking and just putting everything aside and really getting to know him and opening up to him.
Yeah.
And him opening up to me. You know, it's like, it's sad that we don't take the time to do that. It's like, even though they're our parents, they've gone through some shit.
Yeah. A lot of stuff that we may not know about.
And back in the day, like, it wasn't okay for a parent to be vulnerable with their children because they feel that it's a respect level, right? Like, if I tell them this, that they won't respect me enough. Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't know, because how much do the kids know?
I'm talking, but our generation is different than their generation.
I don't know what the hell they're going to be telling. You know what I mean?
The world's going to know. We're documenting everything on YouTube.
What I'm saying is that you have something. What I'm saying is, like, for our kids, like, you have some things to tell them, you know, that you've been through, that you've seen growing up.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And they probably don't know about all those things. Like the things that you've seen. Things that you've been around.
I mean, I've talked to
like,
Audrey,
same for me.
But
I'm just saying, like, they don't know those things. Just like we don't know a lot of things about our parents.
Mm.
But then, like, what are they going to tell their kids? Because what have they seen? You know what I mean? They grew up very different.
They did, but I guess they were too young to see when you and I were going through hard times.
Yeah, but even still,
because our life wasn't perfect at the beginning. I mean, we went through struggles. There was a point where I was thinking divorce.
Yeah.
You know, things haven't been perfect. And so...
Why are you bringing up old shit?
I don't know if they're going to remember. They probably won't remember those things because they were so young.
Yeah, that's when they were babies.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll have some things, you know?
Dad was angry.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mom's like, you guys got to love everybody. And Dad's like, beat his ass. Oh, man. That's what they're going to be talking about.
So I'm reading this book, but I don't want to get too much into it because I really want you to read it as well. Okay. I feel that this is a very, very important book.
Sonja's got everybody in the house doing personality tests.
It's called Personality Plus.
If you come over anytime soon, your ass is getting a personality test, and we're going to see how we fit together.
Well, if we're family or really good friends, yes. Because in order to understand you, I need to know your personality. No, so in order for me to adjust.
You're going to get a survey when you come over.
No, seriously. I'm just kidding. I was reading about the last personality. So there's there's a test that you have to take, okay? And it asks you to list your strengths and your weaknesses. It says, like, when you're a child. So think back to your childhood, and that's how you have
to, your personality as a child,
answer these questions.
Yeah.
And so I did mine, and there's 4 different personality traits. The first one is popular synergine, which is me. And then the second one is powerful choleric. Third is perfect melancholy, which is you.
Yeah.
And then a peaceful phlegmatic.
A phlebotomist.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I can't see it.
It's a peaceful phlegmatic.
My eyes are going.
Anyway, so you take these tests. First, you list your strengths and then your weaknesses, and then you add them up, and then it determines your strengths. And sometimes you could be half of one and half of the other, but it is straight in your face. Like,
Sonja
seriously.
starts reading some of this stuff.
No, seriously. You know what's so cool, though?
What?
Because
what is the name of the book?
I started Personality Plus.
By who?
By Florence
Littauer.
Littauer. Yes.
Auer.
And so when I started reading this, I was like, ouch. Like, really ouch. Because
I wonder if they could pick that up on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. But was in your face. Like, the reason why you have bad memory is because you're all about you. You know, and it talked about like some really hardcore stuff. And it's so crazy because that's all the stuff that I've been working on. And when I'm reading it, I'm like, that was the younger me, the egotistic, all about me, all eyes on me kind of deal, you know, and things that I have been working on and things that I can get better at, you know. Yeah. And it's just very eye-opening, and there's no fluff about it, you know, like they get into it.
Yeah. They tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
And why you are the way you are.
Right. Yeah.
Do they tell you what to do about it?
Yes, they do. They do. And that's what I'm saying. Some of the things that they were talking about, you know, like how to remember names.
So what? Wait, how to remember names?
Like I started doing that already. Like where I met, like in my phone book, if you are in my phone book, did I just say phone book? In my cell phone, you're in there with first name and something that
reminds you of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people do that.
You know,
I do that.
Yeah.
Depending, I do that. Like if I have more than one person, I'll do that. But a lot of times I'll still do it. But
you have a very good memory.
But I don't really think I need it.
Yeah, you don't need it. You have a very good memory. Yeah. You do it anyway. Yeah. See, I need it. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I will talk to you. You will tell me your name. 10 seconds later, it's out the window.
But that's also like a mindfulness thing. Because if you get into that mode, because I've done it before, like when we were working Legal Shield and you're trying to sell, and that's one of those things. Mm-hmm. You know, is learning people's names and, you know, that sort of thing. And when you really practice it, you get good at it. Mm-hmm. You know, like you remember when I used to do that? You'd be like, how the hell do you remember that person's name? Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
But that's when you're doing it day in and day out.
Yes. And this book, so if you've been following us, you know that we read the book, The 5 Love Languages, which has helped our marriage. This one here is going to help our marriage even more.
Think so?
Because I hope so. No, there's a lot of good stuff in here.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here. So it's different than the 5 love languages. It's a different, I think it's more personal.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the stuff, it's hurtful, but it's the truth.
So you said that some of these things that was the older you.
Yes. Like I was very egotistic.
So when you're reading the book and it's telling you like how to fix these things, did you do it the same way?
Yep. Personal.
So like what?
Okay. So, well, for the names is one, right?
What did they tell you to do?
It depends. So if you meet someone at a networking event and they have a business, okay? So say their business is painting, right? They have a painting business, whatever. Yeah. So you would list them in there as Joe Painter.
Yeah.
You know, or if it's a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
It will be Lori, lawyer, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, I've done that. Taking time to be present. And that's something I've been working on for years.
You know what I used to do, I remember, is I used to try to notice something about people that I would meet.
Yes, that's another way.
Like I would try to notice like their eye color
or their
earrings. I would their shoes, their belt, something, and then I would be like that person's name, and then the belt, or the shoes, or the earrings, or whatever.
Yes. So they were talking about with me, because I am so everywhere, and I want to be the one talking. I want to be the one, like all eyes on me. I want center of attention. That at times I don't listen to what people are saying. Yeah. And if you get too detailed, I'm done. I'm checked out. I'm like done. And I'll remember certain parts of the conversation that caught my attention.
Yeah.
Now, but before, Like if you were talking and I was not interested, I would check out. And all I could see is your mouth moving. Wah, 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 wah. Right? I wasn't present.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. But now when I'm with someone, I'm with that person. My ears are open. My eyes, like you have 100% of my attention. And I had to train myself to do that. I'm not very detailed oriented, but you weren't. Not at all.
You weren't, but you are now.
I am now, but I trained myself. That's what this book was saying. I trained myself to do that. Like when I started my notary business, I was very fearful because there's so much detail that goes into the paperwork. Like you have to know where they're supposed to sign. Like there's certain boxes you have to check, initials, and they're hidden. And so, yes. And that was something like I studied my butt off, right? I studied, I paid it. And when I'm there doing a signing now, it's like my eyes are like I am there 100%. And I think the business has helped me become more detailed oriented.
Yeah.
Like I've slowed down a lot. And there's times where I don't, like today was one of those days where I needed to be alone. And normally I don't like being alone. Normally I want to be around people. I want the energy, but I'm noticing like there's just a change that's happening. Today I needed to be with me. You know, there's a lot of things that are going on and I just needed to be alone with me. And that's not normal for me. The old me.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but when I feel overwhelmed, I need my space. I need my quiet time. But anyways, what has helped me is being present, being mindfulness.
How did you start at first? Like from being scatterbrained or disorganized, like how did you start the process of changing that?
It happened in 2017.
Gee, you remember when in 2017?
After those 2 car accidents.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, we have a podcast where I talk about it. And for me, it was God
but I didn't know
me
that
to slow down.
That's what it was.
That definitely was. That's when it started. Because I was so...
Were you a notary then?
No.
Were you doing
no,
it? No,
I was Legal Shield.
Okay.
I was Legal Shield. I was running around from
you were still
place to place.
Yeah,
and
still working.
Yeah, chasing success. You know, I was focused on that. My priorities there were no priorities. They were all backwards. They were everywhere. And it took 2 car accidents to slow me down.
Yeah.
With totaled vehicles where I knew that my life could have been taken away because I wasn't focused. My mind was thinking, I was just elsewhere. I wasn't driving that car.
Yeah.
I was living on autopilot for a very long time.
Was the second one like that too? Or was it just like it happened to be an accident?
No, that happened to be an accident. The first one though, I was just...
Because they were 3 weeks apart and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. And for me, it seriously was, for me, that was a sign.
Yeah.
And I remember I did a Facebook Live.
It was like
on
by the way, in case you forgot.
And yeah.
That was crazy.
But that's the thing. A lot of times it takes something very dramatic to wake someone up. You know? And I'm so glad that for me it wasn't as drastic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. You were able to walk away.
Right. Yep.
So from that point forward, you were just like, you need to pay more attention.
Mm-hmm. I think that's when I slowed down in Legal Shield too.
Yeah. Yeah, right around.
I found a church out here because we moved here. I stopped going to the church. I got reconnected to a church out here. I started reading the Bible because I felt that was, for me, that was a sign. Like I needed to stop. I needed to stop what I was doing and reevaluate my priorities in my life. And I think that's when I got into reading the Bible and I started back on my my path, my journey of just looking for answers.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when I started just slowing down. And I realized that, you know, the kids were, you know, just, it was about them. And I feel that, like, I feel that our purpose is to raise them to be the best that they can possibly be. You know, our life is about them. And it's about leading by example and showing them.
Yeah. It's crazy
what life
thinking
is about.
It's crazy thinking about the old you, you know, and then I don't know. I don't see how you can do it. I don't know. Having kids.
Doing what?
You know, continue that life.
Oh.
The old life, you know? But I guess I kind of did for a little bit.
I mean, there's so many things that had to change.
Yeah.
You know, what's so weird though is that in this book, when you read it, it talks about my personality trait being really messy. Okay. Like being messy. And when you met me,
yeah,
I was a clean freak. Like my house, there was no dust. It looked like a model home. People would feel uncomfortable coming to my house when they had kids because it was so clean and the furniture that I had. And I remember when you know, you and I got together and you weren't not as clean as me, you know,
no.
And then we had kids and holy smokes, like I could not keep up on my house. Like I was not a happy camper. I was not happy. I was not living. I did not feel good because my house was not organized. It was not clean. It was just a mess. I felt out of control.
You're going through it again.
Yeah,
shit.
I felt out of control and I was just not a happy camper. And then I realized I can't live this life anymore. That's not who I am. That the old me is like has to die.
This is about to turn into a T.I. song. Dead and Gone. You remember that song?
Yeah, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I was driving you crazy. I was driving myself crazy. My poor babies. And that's when I just like, I can't do this. Yeah. And things had to change. I had to change. I had to be okay with dust. I had to be okay, you know, with clothes in the hamper.
Yeah.
And dishes in the sink. But I can tell you something. To a point.
All right.
But I can tell you this. I still enjoy a clean house. Like this still drives me bananas. I'm looking at dust on that computer. And it still drives me crazy. And I can tell you that when I walk into homes where they're empty nesters and their house is like spot on and it smells good and looks good, it makes me happy.
That's all they're doing all day.
Like I cleaned our garage, right? Like you helped me do some of it, but walking into my garage,
the fridge into the garage.
Yeah. But walking into our garage makes me happy.
Yeah.
Driving into our garage makes me happy.
Yeah.
But in the book, it says that my sign is messy. And I think that if my mom didn't raise me the way she raised me, I would be messy because I'm disorganized. It's hard.
Would you be a hoarder?
No, I wouldn't be a hoarder.
If your mom didn't raise you the way she did?
I can't tell you that because... Why do you say that?
I'm just kidding. Because of that one time that I was messing with you with the hoarders.
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't be a hoarder. But I think that I wouldn't be as detailed.
Yeah.
Because I look at trim. I mean, I get down. I look at trim. I look at borders in the house. Sometimes. You know, I still can. I know you can. I have to tuck that girl in.
I know. I run from that girl. I see her come out sometimes. It's like, I'm out.
No,
I'm out.
Because
if I engage, it's going to be fucking do this too.
See, but you're supposed to be the organized and clean one, but you're not. I mean, you're only organized with the things that you want to be organized with.
I clean up all the time.
You don't clean.
Okay.
Right. You'll wipe the top of the stove.
All right.
That's it. When I clean, I'm clean the entire stove. Do you see what I'm saying? No, I appreciate the way you clean. I do.
You just said I don't.
Well, you don't clean the way I clean.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Whatever. So,
hey.
Okay. So would it be better that I just don't do it?
But it's weird because your sign is supposed to be very anal.
I am.
And with cleaning, being tidy.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. It's good enough for that.
So when Miguel and I, so he got frustrated because he saw that I was going to clean the garage. Like,
a switch flips in you whenever we start
cleaning.
Whenever you, not we,
it makes
whenever
me
you
happy. So anyways, he left me and I just started, because I knew he's like, we could do it later. And Miguel's a procrastinator. No. So I'm like, this is never going to get done. So I'm going to go ahead and put some music on and be my happy self and just clean it. And you did, and you let me, and you were good about it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you give me shit, You're like,
I'm not gonna give you shit about cleaning. If you want to fucking clean, knock yourself out. You want to put your music on, do your thing.
Yeah.
But I'm also not gonna be an innocent bystander that gets drug into this shit.
Yeah, and
because the thing is,
bystander, like he didn't make the mess.
This is like gang violence in a neighborhood, and I get caught up. But no, because what happened? You're not explaining the whole damn story.
Well, go ahead. I'm supposed to be the storyteller.
But before we get into that, make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go there, you guys can watch the show there. You can listen to it there. You guys will also see support the show tab at the top. If you're on your phone, you can hit the menu button and you'll see the support the show tab. When you click on that, it'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through Amazon, if you pick up this book, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a kickback every time you buy something. And you can also search Opposites Attract Podcast on Amazon, and you can find our t-shirts like the one that Sonja's wearing. You can find some phone cases and a bunch of other stuff. You guys can search Opposites Attract Podcast on Amazon. And you'll also find a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency and signing agency. So if you are in the process of selling, purchasing, or refinancing a home, you can request Trust Inc. to be your signing agency.
Yes. And if you want to go to Trust Inc. directly, you can go to trustinkusa.com. And we're also affiliates with Libsyn, which is who hosts our podcast. If you guys want to start a podcast, if you have a hobby that you want to talk about, and you want to try promo code OAP for Opposites Attract Podcast with Libsyn, that'll get you the first month for free and the next month for free just for trying out Libsyn. So you can get your podcast started with Libsyn. Promo code OAP.
All right.
So what had happened was the fridge went out that day. So it wasn't like we were just like, hey, we decided to clean up the fridge that day. We had to like start after work, had to start hunting down a fridge and replacing the one that went out. Because if not, everything was going to spoil in the fridge. So we ended up finding a fridge and then dragging it back to the house. And then you wanted to clean up. It wasn't like it was just a day to clean up a fridge. We had already done a bunch of shit that day. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, let's do it. And I'm like, yeah, not right now. And you're like, and you just went off and started cleaning.
Because I already knew. That's why.
That's what happens all the time.
You're a procrastinator.
No.
You're a procrastinator.
Because we'll start cleaning and it's like, all right, let's do this. And I'll start helping. Don't I start helping usually? But then when it turns into the next thing and the next thing.
Because I like to finish the job.
I'm like,
because I like to finish the job.
I'm like, all right, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It works out.
But you are a procrastinator. It says so in the book.
Why are you talking shit? You see, I thought we were a good team. 80, so what is it, 80-20?
We're going to become a better team. Because we're working on us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you come over, you're getting a survey right now.
A survey?
So we can get your personality test. Then anything you say is going to be used against you as soon as you start talking.
Look because popular Senegalese are very warm and physical people, they tend to hug, kiss, pat, and stroke their friends.
Oh, shit.
If you're my friend,
stop.
You know that.
All of a sudden, the doorbell's going to start ringing.
And you know what's so funny? So it talks about wide-eyed and innocent. Popular Senegalese is the one personality that is that always appears to be wide-eyed and innocent. Popular Sinigis are naive and have childlike simplicity into old age. I want shit simple. Don't complicate things. Make it simple.
Yeah,
right?
I already figured that out.
They aren't really.
You do check out when I start explaining some shit.
Dude, just tell me the freaking. Yeah, you like to tell long stories. Just give me what I need. Okay, they aren't really dumber than other temperaments. They just sometimes look that way.
Damn.
No, they're in your face. I'm telling you. Like, it's just, and it's funny because it's like a lot of times if you're talking about something and I don't, like, I'm done, I'm just going to look at you and be like, but I'm not going to say shit back because I'm not interested in what you're telling me.
You're just blinking.
You know?
You're just blinking back.
Yeah.
Like I'm still here.
Yeah. What? Oh, it's just hilarious.
Oh
Some
God.
of the stuff they say.
I'm gonna start calling you out. I'm gonna start calling you out when I'm start. You know what? That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start testing you. I'm gonna start talking about shit, and I'm gonna start taking it off the deep end and getting some technical with some shit, and you're just gonna be blinking, and I'm gonna call you out on that shit.
Dude, okay, so
God.
check this out. But you too, you're
What?
forgetful too. Today at Costco, like you didn't know where the car was. I mean, I knew it was like to left. No. But you didn't know where the car was either.
Okay.
You know, but
all right.
But do you know what I'm saying?
You want to go to the Costco trip right now?
But it's because they say, like, a lot of times, so they're telling the story.
Let me explain the
about a popular Sinigine, okay, who went to a store and there was like a 7-story garage.
I'm about to get you.
Oh my goodness! And so she was not paying attention, like me. If I know better now, put the phone down, girl. If I'm driving and I go to the store, I cannot be on the phone or talking to somebody when I get out of that car because I will not remember where the car is. Okay. So I have learned to disconnect when I am parking my car. Okay. So I know me, but she talks about, because the woman who wrote this book is a popular Sinigine like me. And she was talking about the 7-story building that she went shopping. She parked her car on the way out. She was about to leave, did not remember where in the heck her car was, did not know. And so some guy sees that she's confused or lost and stops to help her. And she's like, I can't find my car. I have no idea where I parked it. And he said, well, what kind of car do you drive? And she started laughing. She's like, well,
oh yeah,
I don't remember which one I brought. And he's like, well, that's easy. He said, that's bad. I'm not that bad.
No,
and
you're not.
Because I only drive one car. But you know what? I have done that when I was in your car. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, anyways, I shouldn't have admitted to that. So anyways, he's like, well, let me see your car keys. And here she is with a big ass purse. She had all these bags, so she had to put all the bags down, and she has this big ass purse, and she's shuffling through her purse, throwing shit out, and finds 2 sets of car keys.
And doesn't know which one
she brought. I was like, oh my Lord. Do you know why I don't carry purses? Because that's me.
Yeah.
I do not like carrying purses, right?
Nope.
And the purse I have, my mother-in-law bought me, and it's little.
Nope,
it's
you
bigger.
still don't have a
It's
purse.
actually bigger, right, than the one I had. The one I had was like a wallet size, remember?
Yeah.
And I love that one because I don't need makeup. You know, all I need are my debit cards and
some business cards
and a place for my phone and business cards. Like, that's all I need. I don't need makeup. I don't need no lotion. I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, I took a note because the other day I was doing multiple things at once, which I try not to do because I know I'm going to forget shit. And I was looking for my phone and I remembered I left it in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. You're like, and then, I was like, what the fuck? Like, you opened the fridge and you grabbed your phone out of it. And I'm like,
but I was so proud because I remembered.
You remembered.
I remembered.
Yeah. That shit would have been gone forever until that night when we went to go grab something to drink.
Or I asked you to call it.
Yeah.
And I heard it.
Oh, yeah. And then you heard it ringing in the fridge.
You know, but it's like, I know me. I know my faults. I know what I need to work on. And it's like sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So I am digging. I'm like digging because I just want to be healed from all of it. Like I want to fix me.
You want to be free.
I want to be free from all my shit,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And another thing it talks about is that we'll talk about something and not look up the shit. So we'll be confused we'll confuse people when we try to reiterate a story because we don't remember the details.
Like we do all the time.
Right. No,
on
but
this
you
podcast.
you look shit up. You
Always
look
telling
shit
half-fucking
up.
stories on here.
You look shit up.
No, I do.
You know? And so I'm like, you know what? If I don't want to sound dumb, I need to look it up. Like I need to know what I'm talking about. And that's why I brought the book with me, because if I try to tell you about the book without having the book, forget about it.
Not gonna happen.
Not at all. Not at all.
So you were talking smack about
how I forgot where the car was. Yes.
Why did I forget?
I don't know.
We were at a different Costco. So we have a Costco by our house.
Oh.
That we go to all the time. And usually when we go there, I park, because I'm a psycho, I park around the same place all the time. I don't wait.
I would know how to kill me. I better not say that.
Yeah. We were talking about that. We're like, how would you do it? Oh, it's pretty good.
I would be hard to kill because you can't.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere.
Or
you can't re-walk my steps, buddy. But I know I know exactly how you get up.
I'm like, she forgot where she lived and never came home.
You fucking jerk.
You could plan your shit out perfect because I do the same shit every fucking day.
Yep. I don't know where to find you. Yep.
But so we go to the same Costco all the time, and whenever I park in the same area all the time. I'm not like a serial killer where I have to wait for the same person, like the same spot every time.
Yeah.
I'll park in the same area.
Not that bad? Okay.
No, there's maybe every once in a while if I'm feeling crazy, I'll park in another area, but usually I remember.
That's so funny you say that because you're.
But I park in that area, right? So we were coming back from somewhere else, and there was a Costco on the way home, and it wasn't the one that we normally go to. So the parking lot's different. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna park the car." So I just parked it, and when we left, I forgot. I forgot where I parked it, and then we were looking for it. Now, what you forgot to mention was that when we got to Costco, you were having trouble finding some things.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, and then he's like...
Because you didn't realize that we weren't at the Costco by the house.
I was like, did they move stuff around? Well, for one, okay, I was looking down at my phone. I wasn't looking to see where we were going.
Yeah.
And you always get lost in the car. And I thought you made a wrong turn or something because I looked up.
That should have told you that we weren't at the same place that we normally go to.
But you get lost all the time. We were coming from Rick's. Yes, you do.
I don't get lost.
Yes, you do.
I don't get lost. I don't get
you
lost.
miss your exits.
I don't get lost.
Get turned around. All that. Are you going to deny that shit right now?
I don't get lost coming from places that I know.
You get lost trying to follow maps.
Well, maps suck sometimes.
Okay.
Hey. What the hell? This is how we're going to end the show? You talking shit?
I'm talking truth. I'm not talking shit. I'm talking truth.
Oh, man. What are you going to read before we get out of here? She's going to talk more shit. Because she found a section about me. Now she's going to read it. And that's what we're going to leave you with before we end the show.
I want you to read this.
Oh, you want
me to read? You
want me to incriminate myself?
No, I'm not going to talk about you until you read this. I want you to read this.
You want me to read?
But what's so funny is that it says that a perfect synergy, which is me.
Yeah.
And your personality match, which is, what is it, babe? The perfect.
Yeah.
Melancholy. Always. Like your sign ends up with my sign because your sign is so boring that you need some fun in your life.
And with that, thank you guys for listening. I can't believe you did that. That's how we're going to end it.
Read the book.
Oh, you suck. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being with us. What?
You need me in your life to have some kind of fun and to let loose, you know, and I need structure.
Yeah.
You know, so, or else I'm just like a social butterfly.
Yeah. And you, whatever. I'm going to read that book and then I'm going to come back with my side of the story.
He's going to come back crying.
I'm going to come back with my side. And she does this. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being with us. Yes. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with those that you know. Share it with your friends. That's how the podcast grows.
Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. And thank you for listening to Opposites Attract Podcast,
where we get better
together. Bye.